We want to welcome our viewers of the Johnson City Government Information Channel on Charter Cable Channel 192 and Comcast Cable Channel 17 to this live telecast of the December 11, 2018 Johnson City Regional Planning Commission meeting. This meeting will be rebroadcast on Friday, December 14, 2018 at 12 p.m. Again, welcome to our meeting. We'll call it to order. The first item on our agenda will be our invocation and pledges. Commissioner Cooper.
Please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, we come today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion. Fill us with your grace, Lord God, as we make decisions that affect the citizens of this community. And continue to remind us that all that we do here today, all that we accomplish, is for the pursuit of truth, for the greater glory of you, and for the service of this community. We ask these things in your name. Amen. Amen. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. The next item will be approval or amendments to the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, there is one amendment to be made. The addition under other and consent items, release of completed work bonds.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. We'll add release of bonds to the end of our agenda. And next we are approving our agenda with that as well, right? Okay. Next will be approval of minutes from our meeting November 13, 2018. Have a motion to approve the minutes?
Make a motion, we approve the minutes. Second.
Motion is second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. We'll move on to completion of old business, the Trail Village subdivision preliminary plat approval. It's up for consideration. Thank you. Asong, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, Planning Commissioners, this particular request, Trail Village subdivision preliminary plat consideration, was considered at last month's Planning Commission meeting, and the developer asked for more time to make a couple of revisions that were necessary for the plat to meet city requirements. The lot is currently vacant. It intersects Milligan Highway and Cedar Grove Road, and the property is zone RP3 for planned residential district. This is the plat as it was considered last month. The three key issues that were raised included: one, side distances for the individual driveways for each of these lots on Cedar Grove Road. The second issue was the provision of a turnaround area, being either a T, a Y, or a cul-de-sac for emergency trucks. And the third element was clarity on what the developer was proposing to construct, whether this was going to be a public street or a private driveway. In other words, a permanent access easement. He has addressed these three issues. First, all the driveways that were initially proposed to be from Cedar Grove Road have been removed. So access to all these 8 lots will only be through this private access easement. And that's the second element. He has made this clarification. This will be a private access easement and not a public street. As we have on the plat, there will be no direct access to Cedar Grove Road. All of that is going to be prohibited. He has provided a turnaround area using the T design system for fire truck access in and out of the properties. The city engineer had recommended at the last meeting that the driveway be constructed with the pavement schedule. It should have the thickness of a local street for durability purposes. And the design professional has adopted the design standards for a local street. So this would mean the design standards for a local street. Being a private access easement, the delivery of mails and garbage pickup, all of that will have to take place on Cedar Grove Road at the intersection, out on Cedar Grove Road. And that is the reason this easement area is being provided, a shaded area, 30 feet easement for mail and garbage pickup. That will be designed in the construction plans. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you. Hassan, do you have any questions for staff? Okay. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and open this up for public comment. Do we have anybody here wishing to speak for or against the approval of this plat?
Hello again, my name's Craig Fair, 391 Buckingham Road.
Mr. Fair, thank you for coming back. Appreciate you.
I'm the owner of the property, and I just, we tried to make accommodations to meet the concerns, so just appreciate your consideration.
We appreciate your help. Anybody here else wishing to speak for or against this plat approval? Okay, seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing and open up for discussion and motions on the council.
Excuse me for my tardiness to our pre-meeting, so I just want clarification. I know in the past a concern that this board has had with private streets such as this is that they do tend to get turned over to the city at a later date. And so I appreciate that this street is being built to the same standards as the street. Does that include curbs and things such as if in the future this the homeowners within this area decide that they would like to turn that over to the city for maintenance?
It's my understanding they would have to add a curb. As far as sidewalks, that would be an exception, but there's a walking trail in the unbuildable easement that goes around the front of the properties, which would probably act in lieu of that. But as far as thickness and maintainability of the street, it would be up to normal subdivision or normal street standards.
So there wouldn't be any excessive expense that either the homeowners or the city would have to incur for that type of exchange to occur?
One of the things that Mr. Cantrell, I believe, their department had signed off on.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
Absolutely. It's a good question. Any further questions or discussions or motions?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion for approve and a second. Anybody wishing to discuss this further? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Commissioner Lowe?
Yes.
Commissioner Williamson?
Yes.
Commissioner Marchioni?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Commissioner Wild?
Yes.
Commissioner Harrell?
Yes.
Chairman Zion?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you very much, sir, for bringing this back to us. We're really excited about it for you. Hope it works well. Thanks for working with the department. All right, let's move on to our orders of new business, and Mr. Ryder will be presenting some rezoning requests along Boone Ridge Drive and Boones Creek Road. There's 4 of them in total, but I think it might be smart if you, as earlier, present all 4 of them to us, and then we can vote on them individually.
Absolutely. As the chairman stated, planning staff received 3 applications from property owners at 3 adjacent properties in the Boones Creek Road corridor, all requesting three of the rezonings were requested. The one that we're going to talk about at the end was staff initiated based off of staff analysis of these other rezonings. The first 3 that were requested by the property owners are requests to rezone from I-1 light industrial to B4 planned arterial business. The 3 properties that are in question here are outlined in blue. This is Boones Creek Road. This is Boone Ridge Drive. It's close proximity to the Boones Creek I-26 intersection or exit ramp. You can see the current zoning here of I-1 for these 3 parcels, and you can see that it's abuts the B4 corridor, or the adjacent B4 zoning district. You have the future land use plan over here calling for this area along this corridor to be all commercial. Most of the businesses that are operating, most of the land uses in this area are commercial. So the property owners would like this zoning to be more compatible for their properties. There's just a quick comparison of some of the uses permitted in the I-1 and the B4. The ones in red over here under I-1 are some of the uses that you'd be losing. The green over here in the B4, you'd be picking up with the B4 zoning. You can see there's a wider range of commercial and retail uses in the B4. This is just a satellite image of the surrounding area. Again, here's I-26, Boones Creek Road, and you see you have Bob Evans here. Here are the properties in question, 121 Boone Ridge Road, 119, and the vacant lot out here on Boones Creek Road. You can see there's predominantly in this area, you have restaurants, you have Pals here, you have some commercial uses over here in the shopping center with the A to Z school supply. There's a dog groomer there, a guitar store, used auto sales here. So rezoning this, staff believes that rezoning this makes it more compatible with the land uses that are already located out there. And the uses at 121 and 119 that are subject to this rezoning are currently operating as offices. Here's a look at the 121 Boone Ridge Drive. This is the site fronting Boone Ridge Drive. It's office space or office building. It's 2.79 acres. These three property owners held their neighborhood meeting at the same time. No one attended. We're recommending approval on all three of them. There's 119 Boone Ridge Drive. That's the middle property, if you will. They're 1.62 acres. Again, currently operating as offices. And with this rezoning, there's no change to there's no proposed change to any of the uses. And then the 2849 Boones Creek Road, the vacant lot that's fronts Boones Creek Road here, is just vacant. There's no proposed use, but they would like to have it rezoned from I-1 to B4 as well. Staff recommends approval on all three of these rezonings.
Yeah, that's 121 Boone Ridge Drive, 119 and 129.
121. Let me go back to the map here.
Sure. And then you said all three, but we also have 2848 Boones Creek Road, and I didn't know if you wanted to cover that one.
Okay. The three that we just discussed were 121 Boone Ridge Drive here,
Right.
119 Boone Ridge
Okay.
Drive here, and then
Okay.
the vacant lot is actually
128.
2849 Boones Creek Road.
Okay, do you want to go ahead and cover the small strip as well?
Yes.
Okay.
During the course of our analysis of these three rezonings, we discovered that this private drive that you can see in the picture, which connects Boone Ridge Drive to this parcel here, this is a Boy Scout CERB community center located on this parcel. This private drive, this building are all located on the same parcel, which is zoned R5. So this stem, which is this private drive, is actually a part of this parcel. It's all one parcel. Back in about December 1989, this property was rezoned to R5, but for whatever reason, this stem didn't get rezoned. So we have split zoning on this parcel. So there's two zones for the one parcel. We recommend rezoning this from I-1 to R5 to make it all one zoning on the same property. Staff recommends approval of that.
I-1 to R5?
I-1 to R5. So the first three are I-1 to B4, and then the last one was I-1 to R5.
So to be clear, the I-1 to B4 will be the 121 Boone Ridge Drive, the 119 Boone Ridge Drive, and the 2848 Boones Creek Road.
2849.
2840, okay, our
Boones Creek
agenda
Road.
had 2848.
And they're all listed here.
Okay, very nice.
And the last address with the private drive is part of 129 Boone Ridge Drive.
Very nice. Okay, thank you.
So,
All right, do we have any questions for staff?
One of the pieces of property has multiple owners, is that correct?
That's correct. That's the 119 where the cursor is here, this center piece, in this shaded area here is 119 Boone Ridge Drive. The chairman has an affidavit of
I have a group of
all the property
affidavits
owners.
for the property owners allowing them to stating that they wish for this to move forward and for Boone Ridge Property to handle this. So they're appropriately represented and given consent for this process. All right, any further questions for staff? No? Thank you very much, Mr. Ryder. Anybody here wishing to speak for or against this rezoning or these groups of rezonings?
Thank you very much. My name is Hank Carr. I reside at 3326 Bondwood Circle. It's a pleasure to be here and
Good
to
to see
see
you,
you
Carr.
folks. It's been a while. Last time I was here, it was a
It's not good.
tough conversation, but a successful one, and
Yep.
it all went well. So I appreciate the years of support. Every once in a while, you get to do a fun one, and this is one of the fun ones we get to do. I'll answer your questions, I hope. Boone's Creek's really starting to get some legs underneath it, and some things are happening, and that's fun to see. We represent Mr. Eldridge, who owns 121 Boone Ridge Drive, and helping him through that process. In that property, we realized that it was zoned I-1, and you would think after 8 years I would have known that and representing that. I didn't, and we picked it up through a due diligence process and came down, met with the staff, and they said, well, probably would like to do this right, do them all together, and they were very helpful to kind of help us get everybody put together to do this. I know the property owner down the front, he's a personal friend, he bought it recently. In this particular case, it wasn't around anything, it just made a lot of sense. So I'll answer any questions. The uses on 119, 121 are not going to change. It's going to carry on through either business, professional, medical uses, things of the sort. So I'll answer any questions, or I'll be quiet and sit down.
Thank you very much for your
Thank
time. Any questions? No. Anybody else would like to speak for or against this rezoning request? Seeing no one stepping forward, we'll close the public hearing and open for discussion and motions. And so let's discuss a little bit, and if you all are ready, then we'll take proposals on item number 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the new business. I don't see any discussion, so does anybody want to make
I
a,
could just make one more thing clear.
Yes,
On
please.
the, we are only changing the underlying zoning district. It does fall, this area does fall in the corridor overlay,
right?
the vacant lot, so the overlay stays, and we're just changing the underlying zoning district.
Exactly,
which
and you
I'm-
can
I'm
see
sure
the
you're
the
already
big,
aware
the
of.
graph here on the right shows us the land use plan, and it turns it from red to red from purple, which would make more sense with our, the future land use plan. So it actually cleans up the zoning a bit.
You can see right here, these lines represent the overlay, so the overlay remains.
Nice, especially right there on the road, where you look for a bit of commercial, light industrial further off the road, so.
Do all three pieces will catch, are covered by the overlay?
It looks like 119 is, I don't believe 121 is.
And not 21, okay. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm looking for a motion regarding 121 Boone Ridge Road from I-1 to B4.
Motion to approve.
A motion to approve
Second.
and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Commissioner Lowe?
Yes.
Commissioner Williamson?
Yes.
Commissioner Marchioni?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Commissioner Wild?
Yes.
Commissioner Harrell?
Yes.
Chairman Zayance?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Looking for a motion for 119 Boone Ridge Road from I-1 to B4.
I'll move. Motion, we accept the rezoning of 119.
We have a motion to accept for I-1 to B4 for 119 Boone Ridge Drive from Mr. Marcioni in a second. No, wait. Mr. Williamson, and then second from Marcioni. Any further
We got
discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Commissioner Lowe?
Yes.
Commissioner Williamson?
Yes.
Commissioner Marchioni?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Commissioner Wild?
Yes.
Commissioner Harrell?
Yes.
Chairman Zayance?
Yes.
Motion approved.
All right, let's move on to 129 Boone Ridge Drive, and this one will be going from I-1 to R5. It was number 3 on our agenda, so I'm going to take it in that order. I-1 to R5, this is the narrow strip
No,
at
you
the
have-
top.
That's 4.
Yeah, number 3 is.
Number 3 is the Boones Creek Road.
Okay, we just have a different agenda here, sorry.
Yeah, I gave you, sorry.
So that's all right. I'll tell you what, would y'all like to do the Boones Creek Road one first? We'll do the Boones Creek Road one first. We'll stick with his number 3 as it matches the deal. So 2849 Boones Creek Road from I-1 to B4.
I make a motion, we approve 2849 from Boones Creek Road from I-1 to B4.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Lowe?
Yes.
Commissioner Williamson?
Yes.
Commissioner Marcione?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Commissioner Wild?
Yes.
Commissioner Harrell?
Yes.
Chairman Zayas?
Yes.
Motion approved.
And number 4, we're looking from I-1 to R5 at 129 Boone Ridge
So
Drive.
moved.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Lowe?
Yes.
Commissioner Williamson?
Yes.
Commissioner Marcione?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Commissioner Wild?
Yes.
Commissioner Harrell?
Yes.
Chairman Zayas?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Before we hit our next item on the agenda, I was remiss in the beginning of this meeting, I did not welcome Mr. Mitchell. So our new Head of Planning and Development Services, we want to thank you very much for being here. This is Preston Mitchell. Welcome to Johnson City, and I'm sorry I didn't start our meeting up with that. I apologize, my fault.
No, this is your meeting.
We're very glad you're here. Thank
We
you.
have plenty of time to chat.
We look forward to your leadership. Thank you.
Thank you.
So finally, our added item to the agenda was the release of bonds for work completed. If you will present that for us, Mr. Bernard.
So, in the course of doing some work on other bonds that we have open in the city, staff, as an act of due diligence, determined it necessary to find out if we have some other bonds that developers have not requested that they be released, but which work has been completed, and it would be good on our part to proceed with the release of those bonds. We found these 5 subdivisions. Work has been completed on these. The bonds were posted mainly for either only for stormwater and sidewalk, except for Willows Ridge 2 Phase 2, where this 45,000 was for the construction of a sewer lift station. Engineering staff and water and sewer staff have inspected the sites and determined that the work has been completed as required by city regulations. Staff is recommending that the Planning Commission approve the release of all these 5 bonds.
Thank you, sir. Any questions for staff? No? We have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Lowe?
Yes.
Commissioner Williamson?
Yes.
Commissioner Marcione?
Yes.
Commissioner Cooper?
Yes.
Commissioner Wild?
Yes.
Commissioner Harrell?
Yes.
And Chairman Zayas?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Make a motion.
Yeah, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Adjourned. Thank you all very much.